Hello and welcome back to my channel. Happy November. This is my video for all things October recap, October stuffs. October went by really quickly. I know that everybody is saying that, but for me it was just like a blur of stuff, events, countdowns to Halloween, etc. But I also kind of feel, especially towards the end of October, there was a heaviness. I don't want to say it's like a depression feeling. I don't want to say I was sad. I just felt heavy. Like I don't know how to explain it. I'm not even really sure if anything like that has ever happened to me before. It was just a heaviness that I felt. And I found myself almost like kind of wanting October to end, which I have never done before, ever. I am an October girl. I love Halloween. I love the fall. The beginning of October, totally fine. It was just kind of like the last week of October that I really felt this, I don't know, this different heaviness. So I don't know if any of you experienced that either, but it was a little bit disappointing for me. I hate wishing time by, and I found myself doing that, especially wishing Halloween by. It's just, I don't know. It was a different experience for me. So here we are in November, another fresh start. So fingers crossed that things kind of feel a little bit lighter and pick up a little bit for November. So I've kind of realized over watching some of these videos in the past that I've kind of got away from talking about tarot a little bit. I used to talk about the decks I used in the months, and I stopped doing that mostly because my practice did definitely slow down a little bit over the last couple of months. I wasn't pulling cards as much as I used to. I was still pulling them, but also I was just kind of pulling from whatever deck I felt like it. Like I didn't necessarily assign a certain set of decks for August or for September to myself. I was just kind of randomly pulling, like whatever was closest, or I would feel the need to pull from a certain deck, so I would go get that deck and pull from that deck. So I didn't really discuss it. I didn't really talk about it. So I am going to talk about it this month. However, disclaimer, I did use multiple decks this month because, again, I was just pulling whatever I felt like. However, I did see Velvet Forest Moon. She'll pull cards for the month ahead, like just one card. And so I did that for October, which reminds me I have yet to do it for November. Today is the 5th. I haven't done it yet. So that's what I'll be doing after this. But I wanted to pull from the Reclaim Oracle just because I feel like that's a self-love, self-exploration deck. And then I wanted to pull a tarot card. And then, of course, I had to pull a Samhain Oracle card. So the card I pulled from the Reclaim Oracle was Connection. And I thought that this was really interesting because in the month of September, mid-September, I did make a new connection, and I've been exploring that throughout the month of October. So I thought that this card was a sign that I do need to explore that, and I do need to work on connecting with this person. Spoiler, it's not going well. At the present moment, it's not. I'm getting bad vibes about it. I don't think it's going to go where I was wanting it to go, but I did focus on that connection for the month of October. So the Samhain Oracle card that I pulled was Pumpkin. These are really glossy, so I'm really sorry if it's reflecting anything or any lights or whatever. Okay, I think we're good. And this is a protection card. This card does come with a recipe in the book, which I had every intention of making for pumpkin bread. Do you think I did it? No, I did not. So I'm sticking true to form here. That card I kind of didn't really, I don't know. I didn't really feel anything from it for October. And then the tarot card I pulled from the Oak, Ash, and Thorn deck was the Two of Swords. So for this, I kind of thought that maybe I would have a decision to make this month, or this past month in October. Yes and no. Kind of. And I'm not going to elaborate on it because I'm not sure. But it has to do with that connection that I was making. So those were the cards that I pulled for October. I'm going to do it again for this month, obviously. So we'll see where that takes me. So for memories, We had Canadian Thanksgiving in October, and the fall colors this year were out of this world. Like, I have found the last few falls haven't been very vibrant or very colorful. It's just kind of been like the trees are green and then they're brown and the leaves are gone. This year, because we had cooler temperatures during the day and a fair bit of rain in the beginning of the month, the trees were extremely vibrant this year. And I loved it. I could not get enough of it. I wanted to take all of the pictures, and I filmed my manifestation video in this environment over Thanksgiving weekend, and it was just top notch. I just loved it. So yeah, going on drives and seeing things outside and seeing the beautiful fall colors just warmed my soul. Like, I loved it. And our Canadian Thanksgiving was beautiful. I get to go up north to my grandmother's house for Thanksgiving, so being up north in that environment was stunning. And then Halloween. Totally forgot about Halloween. So I had a Halloween party to go to, and I had mentioned in past videos that I had chosen a costume and that it was perfect, and I can't believe I hadn't thought to be this before. It was a fortune teller. However, a TikTok was going around about a girl in a giant croc, like Crocs the shoes. And all of my friends, I can't even tell you how many people sent this to me because I am a Croc girl. I love my Crocs. All of my friends sent me this video and were like, you have to do this for Halloween. I don't care what your Halloween costume is. This is what it is now. So I was a giant Croc for Halloween, and I went to a Halloween party at my friend's cottage, also up north, which was perfect setting on Crystal Lake. The lake is actually Crystal Lake. So Friday the 13th fans, it was perfect. And I ended up winning best costume. So that was fun. And I was looking forward to that all month long. I was looking forward to that. And at the time I had decided to be that Croc, I had 2 weeks to Halloween, and I had plans. So I didn't start working on it until 1 week before Halloween. So I worked on it every single day for 7 days in a row. It was difficult, but worth it. Also, I definitely didn't think it through because I could barely eat or drink. I needed a straw, and I had to have my arm up like fairly high to get things to my mouth. I couldn't touch my lips to my mouth, so whatever I was eating had to be long enough for me to be able to stick it in my... Oh, I didn't think it through, but it was fun. Shopping. What did I buy this month? So apparently my tripod was sitting on this. I finally got a leather case from Dimitri in the Ukraine. Thank you, Garden Goddess Tarot, for just loving this and putting it on your channel, because now I have one. It did go back on sale. So basically I saved, I think, a little more than what the shipping would have cost. So I'm okay with that. It was regular price. I wasn't willing to pay, really. Well, not that I wasn't willing. It's just, you know, I would have preferred less. So I waited for it to go on sale, and it did. Right now, my Trionfi della Luna is in here. I'm probably going to switch that out just because I don't think I'll be using the Trionfi for a little bit because of the season. It doesn't really have like a Yuletide vibe, if you catch my drift. So I probably will switch it out for something else. What's going to go in here, I have no idea. But this is like, it is very soft leather. I highly recommend. It came with a lovely note from Dimitri. Shipping, I don't know how long it took. Took a good couple of weeks, if not 3 weeks. But I love this. I love this. It's going to come with me when I travel with decks. So this was a really exciting purchase. I can smell it. This was a really exciting purchase for me for the month of October. Also, I purchased 2 tarot decks in the month of October. I went all of September without purchasing a single deck. I was so proud of myself. And then we get to October and I bought 2. So let's do the first one because I put an unboxing on my channel, so you probably figured it out. It's the Sasrabito Mini Traveler Edition. Mini Traveler because A, it's cheaper, B, it takes up less room on my shelf. I am running out of space. If you could see the disaster in front of me, this looks all calm, cool, and collected. I have a table that I keep at my bedside. It's not a nightside stand. It's a legit table that I have had to put at the side of my desk or my bed that has just stuff because it's overflow from this shelf, from the shelf that you can't see behind the camera. It's getting bad. So mini decks. I also edged it. I just did this a few nights ago. It's not terrible. It does look a little like faded, or like it didn't quite absorb enough of the marker in some places. I went with black just because there's black edging around the cards and it just goes well. However, instead of using a Sharpie like I did with the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, I used a black Tombow. We're probably not going to focus, maybe. And I said I was going to use this the last time I edged a deck because the Sharpie kind of added a metallic look that I didn't like, kind of like a hematite stone, if you get what I'm saying. And I wanted it to be black to match the full black borders of the card. Let me tell you, every time I use my Sacerobito over the last couple of days, and I have kept it I've got a bag for it because I am not keeping it in the box. The box is just too pretty. When I've used this deck, my fingers are black. I'm going to try and show you. So I don't know if this is going to come up on camera, but the pads of my fingers now have black. It almost looks like black flecks, but I think that just might be the way it's coming off on my fingerprint. I don't know. But yeah, it makes me a little nervous when shuffling because I don't want the pads of my fingers to now touch the artwork on the cards. I don't want to have these black smears on the images. But also I've decided to put, now I'm afraid to touch anything. I've decided to put the Sacerobito in my Crystal Haven UK bag that was an add-on from my Lenormand Kickstarter. Oh, the name has just slipped me. If I remember, I'll put it up on the screen. And I was keeping the Lenormand in here, but I'm still not well versed in Lenormand, so this has just kind of been sitting on my shelf with the Lenormand deck in it. And I was like, oh, I'll use the Sacerobito. It's a smaller bag, it's perfect, but it's gold on the inside. And now I'm afraid to put the deck in it because I don't want, it's the inside of the bag, who's going to see it? But I just don't want that black to rub off and wreck it. So the deck has been sitting on this little table here since I edged it, hoping it would dry out or do what it's got to do. And I don't know, it's still rubbing off on my fingers. So anyone who's edged a deck in Tombow, please let me know if this eventually stops happening, whether it's overuse or whether time, let me know because I'm nervous as heck right now about this transfer that's happening. And yes, as I said, I think this bag is absolutely perfect. I don't know if you can see that embroidered heart on it. I think it's perfect for the Sacerobito, and I'm not using the box because it is just a tuck box, and my tuck box from my Everyday Witch mini that is going in my purse, that's in my purse, is destroyed from being knocked around in my purse. I don't want my Sacerobito box to get destroyed because it's very pretty. So that's the bag I'm keeping it in. Now, this is just, I'm afraid to touch anything. Ugh. So I'm not going to open it because of my fingers, and it has white edges. It's a white box as well. The second deck I purchased, and I am late to the party on this one, is the Luna Soul Tarot. I have filmed an unboxing of this, not because YouTube needs an unboxing. There are plenty. This deck is not new, but I was just so excited. However, I'm unsure if I'm going to post it because it's like half an hour long, and I don't know. We'll see. If I run out of content, maybe one of these days it'll go up. But I got it for 31% off on Amazon, so that also lessened the blow of purchasing a second deck in 1 month. And that's also the only reason I bought it. If it was regular price, I wouldn't have done it. But I kind of, my tarot aesthetic is changing. The Sacerobito tarot was never on my list of decks I wanted. In fact, it was on my list of decks that I just felt were overrated. And something clicked, something changed. I was watching a YouTube video and I fell in love with the Sassarabito. And I was like, I need to have this deck. So then I felt that the White Newman had a similar art style, kind of, not in color, but I just felt like it might be along the same lines. So I thought, let's look up the White Newman. And then I didn't like the White Newman at all, but the White Newman led me to Luna Soul, which is not my color palette. It's actually super different from the Sassarabito. The Luna Soul I purchased because I felt like it was a great beginner deck. I felt like it would be a great deck to use with my friends. I promise my friends are real. They're not air quote friends. I think it's a great read. It's a beautiful read. And actually last night I was having a moment and I wanted to pull a card for advice, and I pulled from the Luna Soul and it gave me the star. So super sweet. The color palette is not my aesthetic. I don't like the color palette on the Luna Soul. These baby colors, there's a word, pastels. These pastels, they're not me. But I do love the imagery on the Luna Soul, and I think they did a fantastic job. It's a fantastic beginner deck. I wish I bought it when I first started or whenever it came out, whichever came first. But yeah, those are the two decks I bought. And like I said, I do find my aesthetic is changing in the sense that one of my decks on my wish list now is the Ritual Tarot. The Ritual Tarot is something even a few months ago, I would have been like, no. First of all, it doesn't have titles. They are coming out with a title edition. That's not the one I will be going for. I will be going for the one without titles. It's totally different from my aesthetic. And I'm finding I'm getting away from these really bright, cartoony style tarot decks, which is very interesting for me. And heed my warning, if you are a beginner and you did what I did and you're doing what I did and hit the ground running, purchasing all these decks, hold off, because some of these decks aren't even that old on my shelf. And I'm finding I'm just like, ooh, I don't know if I want to use this. So hold off for a little bit. Heed my warning, because now I find my aesthetic is changing. And with that, 2 Oracle decks have gone into my Purgatory bin. They're not ones that I'm committing to get rid of, which is the purpose of a Purgatory bin. They're going to hang out there for a little bit, see what happens. One is an indie deck, which I never thought I would get rid of. And the other is a deck that I purchased to go with my Mermaid Tarot, which is the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. So this deck, super cute. I mean, if, you can get an idea of what the cards are here. Great deck. I don't like the big box. Again, like I said, I'm running out of room on my shelf. I need to have boxes that are a bit smaller, and these cards, I don't know, like the book obviously is the same size as the box, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't need this big of a box in my opinion. But also I have found when I have read with these cards, I just don't, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I don't really click with the messages that's coming. I don't know. So I'm like, you know what? Purgatory bin. The other, and this almost makes me a little bit sad because like I said, it is an indie deck. You can get it on Amazon. It's a Canadian creator that I love so much. It's the Awakened Soul Oracle. And one of the reasons I loved this deck was because it was very relevant to today's society and things going on. Like there's an unplug card in here, like unplug from your devices, your social media, whatever you got going on. And I just found it was really relevant, but I'm not reaching for it. I'm no longer reaching for this deck. So Purgatory bin you go. We'll see. Again, these are just, they're going to hang out here for a little while. And if I don't pull them, if I'm not missing them, if I'm not feeling sad about them anymore, bye-bye. So now we're going to talk about the decks I use. And I'm not really going to go through them. This video has already kind of gone off the rails a little bit. But like I said, I'm using just a mishmash of decks now. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not assigning a deck to myself for a specific month. I want to work with what I feel called to work with in that moment. And I think that's working for me. So I did obviously use my new decks, the Sassarabito and the Luna Soul. They were ones that I pulled from. I didn't have them for the entire month of October. I've only had them, I think, for a little over a week. But I did play with them. I did use them. I obviously played with the Samhain Oracle. I played with that a couple of times. I think I did a pick a card reading, a private tarot or a private YouTube video for my friends with the Samhain. So that was good. I used the Oak, Ash, and Thorn tarot. That was more so in the beginning of the month of October. Really liked working with that. It's a soft energy. I love the aesthetics of it and the critter vibes. Love it. Golden Art Nouveau. I started out using this in the month of October and it did not go well. I don't know. I was finding that I couldn't get the readings out of it. Like I couldn't even piece together what the cards were trying to tell me. It was not great. So I ended up putting that away. It's not going in Purgatory just yet. It's my replacement for my plaid back RWS because I don't like the art on that. I love the Golden Art Nouveau. I love the faces. I love that you can clearly see the facial expressions. But I don't know, if it keeps up, I hate to say it because I do love it, but it might end up in the Purgatory bin. I was actually rather surprised at how I was not resonating with those readings. I don't know. I couldn't even come up with a guess at what the messages were. So that sucked. The Trionfi della Luna. I was playing around with this a little bit in the month of October. I was a little bit concerned about this deck. When I first got the Trionfi della Luna illustrated pips, I kind of played around with it and I did some sample readings and it did what the Golden Art Nouveau did. I got nothing. I couldn't piece together what the message was out of the cards and I was really upset because the Trionfi isn't a deck that I felt called to use. But the illustrated pips tempted me. They got me. So when I had the first couple readings and it wasn't working, I panicked. Oh gosh. But then my readings for the month of October were better. I definitely was getting better readings out of this deck for the month of October. So that was great. It made up for the Golden Art Nouveau. What else? What else did I do? Oh, there was something I did want to bring up. I had to look at my notes. There was something I did want to bring up about the Trionfi della Luna. And let me know if this has happened to you. It's kind of similar to like the whole heaviness in October thing. There was twice that I pulled from this deck. I felt physically ill when looking at the cards, when reading the cards. I can't even remember what the message was. It wasn't anything major. This is also, heed my warning, why you need to journal everything you pull. Even if you're just like playing around and having fun and, oh, what message do you have for me today? And you look at your card, write them down. Always write them down. But I felt physically sick. And I'm not sure if that's a reaction to Patrick Valenza's artwork because the Deviant Moon, I want no part of the Deviant Moon. I can't handle it. So some of the artwork in the Trionfi is kind of the same for me. Not a gross way. Let me find an example. So I found a couple cards to show you here, but even now looking at them, I'm not getting a physical reaction out of them. I don't know if these were the same cards that I pulled. Again, another argument for always write down your card pulls. Always, always, always. And I did start doing that. I did. This was lessons learned this month. But I'm not getting the same physical reaction that I had. So I'm not sure if the physical reaction had to do with the reading. I don't know. Let me know if this has happened to you. But for example, like this face on the adult individual in this card, it kind of bothers me. It's not making me feel sick. It just bothers me. And that's Patrick Valenza's art that is not my aesthetic. Another example, and this was kind of reaching, trying to find examples. We have the death card here, and there's lots going on. Lots happening in that card that is, again, not my favorite. And then this one with the reaching into the belly. I think this is the sun card too. Yeah. I don't know. Again, when I was just kind of going through them to try and find an example, I didn't have that same, I don't want to call it a visceral reaction, but it was definitely a physical reaction when using this deck. Maybe I was under the weather, I don't know, but definitely if you have thoughts on that, or if you've had experiences, let me know. And again, I'm so mad at myself for not writing down what the cards were and what the reading was about, because I feel like that could shed some light on the situation, if not at the very least eliminate some possibilities. I don't know, but very bizarre, extremely bizarre experience in October. And I've read with that deck prior to October. I think I got it in April. I don't even remember when I got that deck. And that's the first time it's happened. First time that I've noticed it's happened anyway. And the other deck that I used for October, I'm finding it to be my go-to deck. I do love shuffling it. I do love the imagery. And also it's kind of like I don't have to think because it has the keywords on it. This is the Saint Soleil Beginner Tarot with keywords. I love this deck. I love the cardstock. It is a bit thick for my hands. My hands don't quite grab it all when shuffling, but just listen. Just sounds beautiful. This is one that I could shuffle while watching TV. Just shuffle it, calm me down, ground me a little bit. I have noticed that this deck, I don't even know if you'll be able to pick it up. It's bowing this way, which would normally kind of irritate me, but I think it's working for the shuffle. I'm kind of enjoying the bow. Oh my God, that sound. The feel too. This is a great deck for jumper cards. If you want to use, if you're the kind of person that uses jumper cards. I found the Luna Soul. I really struggled to get jumper cards with that deck. It kind of shuffled in chunks, I found. So when there were jumper cards, it was like a pile of like 4, which I don't read jumper cards that way. I read them one at a time. So yeah, this has been my go-to. I use this deck every single month. At some point throughout the month, it stays in my bed with me, actually. It's on the side of my bed that is forever lonely, and it just stays there and hangs out, and it's what I kind of grab at night if I'm wanting to shuffle, wanting to do a simple little reading. That's the one I use. So that's it. I am on the market for a moon planner. I really enjoy, I had it here. Oh, I do still have it. I enjoy the Moonology planner. I'm undecided if I'm going to continue with the Moonology planner for 2023. What I'm looking for, what I like about this planner is that it gives you kind of like moon vibes for the full moon in X, whatever the astrological sign is. She does a blurb about the month and things to do this month, kind of planetary alignments. I enjoy that. And then when there is a full moon or a new moon, so this is the new moon in Pisces in March or something like that, it gives you things to do. I do enjoy that. That being said, I am on the market for a different one. I want to switch it up. That's my second year using that one. So if you use a moon planner and you've got one that you love, drop it in the comments because I'm on the market. I'm a free agent at this moment in time for a moon planner. So let me know what you use and what works for you. And with that, I will finally let you guys go. I feel like I've been talking for so long, and now I have to go pick my cards for November. Don't forget. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you. I've got a couple videos filmed that are going to be posted. Still on the fence about the Luna Soul unboxing, but I definitely have a couple that'll be coming out in the month of November. So I will see you then.